And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Tonight's weather again showing this front holding together up here in the north, spreading rain eastward north of the Alaska Range all the way up to the eastern Arctic coast on into the Yukon, but south along the Alaska Range really breaks up and just cloudy here, south central Alaska. Some more rain for the Alaska Peninsula. Showers out to the west of the front over the western part of the state, and then a short break. And another weakening system sliding eastward in that westerly flow across the northern Bering Sea. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, isolated showers, northern panhandle back in toward Prince William Sound and into the Copper River Basin. For tomorrow, still kind of a drippy day for Prince William Sound and the North Gulf Coast, with scattered showers or isolated showers over the northern panhandle. It's mostly cloudy skies becoming mostly sunny down toward the south. Band of rain along this trough for the Arctic coast and North Slope back into the Noatak Valley, Kivlina, and to a lesser extent across the Seward Peninsula there, back down toward the Pribilofs. Remnants of that weakening front bringing a little bit of moisture into those areas. Chance of showers to the Alaska Peninsula, basically dry, partly sunny, south central Alaska, Kuskokwim Valley, and up into the Kobuk Valley areas. And then the outlook for Saturday, actually moisture here coming northward around this high over the Gulf of Alaska, kind of re-energizes that front. We end up with another band of rain here, but this time looks like it'll push rain across south central Alaska into Prince William Sound, northward into the mid and upper Tanana Valley. Actually over toward the border will be more showers, but a good area of rain again here. Brooks Range out to the central and eastern Arctic coast, and then that front trailing some moisture back into the Alaska Peninsula. Very weak trough out here brings a chance of showers into Adak and Atka. Coastal water forecast here for the south coast of the Panhandle for tomorrow. West winds at 10 knots, west-southwest at 20 knots. For the central coast, north coast, light west winds 10 to 15 knots. South 15 for Lynn Canal and southwest at 10 for Stevens Passage, turning northwest at 15 for for Clarence Strait with 3-foot seas. And light variable winds for Stevens Passage on Saturday. South 15 for Lynn Canal, northwest 15 for Clarence Strait. Central and south coast, pretty uniform here. Northwest winds 20 knots, seas 5 feet. West winds 10 to 15 knots. Excuse me, up on the north coast. Prince William Sound, southeast winds at 10 knots with southwest 15 for the North Gulf Coast. Cook Inlet, south winds 20 to 25 knots for Friday, southwest 15, Kamishak Bay, southeast 15 for the Barren Islands. And for Saturday, south winds 20 knots, Barren Islands, Kamishak Bay, all of Cook Inlet, south at 15 for Prince William Sound, and south to southwest at 15 knots for the North Gulf Coast. Kodiak Island, south to southwest winds at 20 knots tomorrow, with the Alaska Peninsula from Bristol Bay on down the Bering Sea side here. We're looking at southwesterlies at 15 knots. Variable winds at 10 knots here for Cape Sarachev up to Sitkinak. And then for Saturday, we've got southwesterlies at 15 knots for Bristol Bay. Light variable winds here for the Bering Sea side of the Alaska Peninsula. Variable winds 10 to 15 knots for the Pacific side. And Kodiak Island, south to southwest winds at 20 knots. And for the eastern Aleutians, west-northwest, 10 to 15 knots for tomorrow. Southwest 15 for the central Aleutians. Farther out to the west, south to southwest winds 15 to 20 knots. And for Saturday, western Aleutians, south to southwesterlies at 20 knots, west 15 for Adak and Atka. The Fox Islands looking at west to northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots. Southwest coast, southwesterlies tomorrow, 15 to 20 knots. Small craft advisories, St. Matthew Island, St. Lawrence Island, and Norton Sound. Southwest at 25 in those areas. Southwest 15 for the Pribilofs. And for Saturday, for the southwest coast, west-southwesterlies at 15 to 20 knots. Southwest 20, St. Matthew Island, Pribilof Islands, west at 15. Southwest 20 for St. Lawrence Island, and small craft advisories for Norton Sound. Southwest winds there 25 knots, seas 5 feet. And for the Chukchi Sea tomorrow, south to southwest winds at 15 to 30 knots, western Arctic coast, east-southeast 15 to 20 knot winds, northeast at 10 for the central Arctic coast, and west-northwest breeze at 10 knots for the east side. And for Saturday here, east to northeast winds at 15 knots for the central and eastern Arctic coast, northeast 15 for the western Arctic coast, and south to southwest winds 15 to 20 knots for the Chukchi Sea.